we'll just do a big screen. Talking about this once is all I want to do. There's good news. There's really good news in this. Um, but I just want to start out the stream. I want to lay this all out there. I want to talk about all this and then just go on with the night. Just play some games. Yeah. So, me and the wife are pregnant. Well, she's pregnant, not me. I mean, I do have a food baby, but um, we are expecting a baby boy. Okay, and we've been trying. We've been trying for God since we got married a few years ago. We've been trying. Um, so of course, when we figured out that she was pregnant, it was amazing news, and we were so pumped. I already have a 4-year old. You know, he's with us half the time, and you guys have seen him um, here and there. You know, he's been in some of my streams and stuff. But so all was going good. A few weeks ago, we went and did the ultrasound to figure out if if it's a boy or a girl, and we found out it's a boy. And I'm so pumped. Honestly, I kind of wanted a girl just because a girl would be amazing to have a boy and have a girl, but at the same time, god damn it, I'm tearing up already. Um, but having two boys is perfectly fine. I'm happy with that. It's all good, all good. They were going through doing the whole check thing of checking his spine, checking his kidneys, checking his brain, checking his development, this and that, and they weren't really saying much to us. And then at the end of it, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're having a boy," and we were so excited. Me and my wife were so happy. Um, and then they were like, "Okay, well, hold on. We need to go get one of the doctors." And me and my wife looked at each other like, "What are you talking about?" Okay, I'm thinking, okay, this is just they're gonna come in and say, "Hey, this is what we saw. This is good." Blah blah blah. So this specialist guy comes in, short dude. I mean, I'm short, okay, and this dude's shorter than I am. Um, he comes in and starts just kind of bluntly laying it on us, and he's like, "Okay, so what we're seeing," he's like, "what I'm seeing is I'm seeing some fluid in the kidneys. Um, I'm seeing and um, his legs were all pointed. So if you point your feet out, um, normally they're up like this. Like let's say this is my foot and this is my leg. Normally they're up like this. You can move them around, but they're pointed. And one of them was pointed. So he's like, "Oh, well, that could be a club foot, and that's not the end of the world. That can be adjusted. That can be fixed with like surgery or something later on. No big deal." And he goes, "But what's concerning is his spine. There's like a curvature in his spine. He might have like scoliosis or something, and the the fluid in his kidneys are not a good thing either." So what he was saying was this could be a sign of Down syndrome. Down syndrome is not a bad thing at all. If my little boy had Down syndrome, then he just needs extra loving. That's it. Not a big deal at all. I'm not worried about that at all. Just extra loving for the little man. It's okay. Okay, my book. And so he's like, "Well, let come back and we're gonna have you come back in 2 weeks, and we're actually gonna send you up to KU Med, which is in Kansas City, and it is like the University of Kansas City or Kansas University of Kansas medical place. These guys are like the top place in the country. Thankfully, I live here where this place is um just these specialists are nuts. These guys are the top tier of their professions. So I was like, okay, cool. We're gonna, 2 weeks, we're gonna go get that done. This past Tuesday, went up there. They did the ultrasound. There's like 3 specialist doctors in there while they're doing the ultrasound, looking at this, looking at that. All is good. Cool. And then they come back into the room and they're like, okay, and they all bring chairs and they all sit down in front of us. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be good. Okay. Um. So both they were like, so basically they're like, okay, guys, both of his feet are pointed. The bones look like fused. They look pointed. They don't look right. Doesn't. He's okay. So he's moving around, right? So his arms are moving around. He's sucking on his thumb. His head's moving around. That's all good. But from the waist down, there's no movement. He's not moving his legs. His feet are all like pointed and weird, and that's not good. So, um, the other thing was they said that he had large pockets of fluid in both kidneys, which is not a good thing. Um, and then there was an actual gap between the bottom of his spine and where his pelvis is. So that is a real big issue. So their concern was he potentially might have Down syndrome, which was something we already were told. And then they laid out this whole other medical thing. They were like, we're fearful that he may have the TM13 or TM18 genetic disorders. And you guys are probably like, what the world is that? Because I was like that. I was like, what the hell is that, guys? I don't know. Can you explain to me what the TM13 and TM18 genetic disorders are? And they're like, well, it's a genetic disorder that is 100% fatal. And this is where I'm going to start crying. So so they so I asked him okay, so what is the if he has these disorders, what's the life expectancy? What are we expecting here? And they said the best case scenario for him, if he has these disorders, which is probable, because all the signs they were seeing, you know, they were saying the best case scenario that they've ever seen with these disorders is ours, if he makes it after birth. If he makes it full term, he will only live for a few hours, maybe a week, maybe a few weeks, but he's going to be in the hospital in an incubator kind of thing. Yeah. So that was rough. Really rough. The only way to rule these things out or know for sure was to do an amniocentesis, which is where they stick a needle into the belly of the pregnant woman, so my wife. They stick a needle in there and they actually pull fluid, amniotic, I might be saying that wrong, amniotic fluid from around the baby, which contains the baby's DNA, pull that out and do a whole bunch of genetic testing on it. And we were going to find out within 3 days um, whether he has it would for sure say if he's got Downs or he's got the TM13 or TM18 genetic disorders. So we went ahead and did that, and the other day we got the phone call. I got the phone call because I told him, hey, call me, don't call my wife, call me, because I can handle this kind of bad news a whole lot easier, and I'll know how to. I mean, I can't handle that. It's your child you're talking about. And the potential of not having your own child is, or him not being able to live a full life. Like I can't look in the camera now. I'm sorry, guys, but that's just a fucked feeling to have. You know, it's really messed up. Um, so we got the phone call. I got the phone call, and she was like, "Okay, are you sitting down?" I was like, "Okay, I'm sitting down. I'm ready. What is it?" She goes, I got good news for you. I was like, what? She goes, your son tests negative for Down syndrome. I was like, okay, so that's, he doesn't have it. He goes, nope, he does not have Down syndrome. I was like, okay. All right, let's go from here. And she goes, and regarding the TM13 and TM18 disorders, I was like, oh no, here we go. She goes, he tests negative. He does not have these disorders. He does not have Down syndrome, which, by the way, if he did, no big deal. No big deal. It was just really the TM13, TM18 disorders that we were just like, shit. And I bawled my eyes out, guys. I mean, I'm sitting there in my truck driving down the road, bawling my damn eyes out because my son is going to live. Now, regards to his spine and his legs, we're still going to get some more test results like next week, I think it is, concerning that. And we'll get to know more about that. Because, worst case scenario, he might be crippled from the waist down or something, because he's got full movement of his upper body and everything. So maybe he's just crippled from the waist down. And if that's the case, awesome. He's still going to have the best life possible. And with the way technology is going, I made this joke to my wife. I was like, the way technology is going, maybe he'll be a candidate for like robot legs or something. Maybe they'll be able to do like some exosuit, whatever, and whatever, make his nerves work and fix his legs or whatever, and it'll be awesome. But over the last week or 2 weeks or so, I've been really negative on Twitter, and it's just been a really, really rough ride in my household, and we've just been stressing out so bad. And I wanted to come on, and I wanted to lay it out in front of my family, you guys, and just be like, this is what I've been dealing with. This is where we're at. We have good news. There still might be the potential bad news, but the worst is not going to happen. We are going to have our child, and it's going to be the best thing possible, and it's awesome. So I really appreciate all you guys. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I love each and every one of you. Thank you guys for your continued support. And I really, really do hope that you guys pop back in here soon. Be safe. Peace.